Okay, so today we made the oak shingles. I have been looking very much forward to that. There is evidence of roofing made from oak shingles in the Viking Age, and it suggests that probably the larger longhouses or the halls or even the palaces might have been clad, where the roof might have been clad with oak shingles, and we have proof of very elaborate oak shingles. I have discussed earlier that the slope of the roof of this little house is not going to be very steep, and we have a lot of overhanging branches, so I don't think the oak shingles will survive a lot on this roof. But I really wanted to play around with shingles. So my plan is, depending on how many shingles I'm able to make from the oak that I have, to at least cover, I don't know what it's called, but at each end of the house there's this triangle above the wall coming up to the roof. And this triangle I'm planning on cladding or covering with oak shingles. The roof itself is a little longer than the house, so it will come out and protect the shingles there. And I think it's going to look awesome, and I think it's very, very fun to try and make these shingles, and I can't wait to try and get them up on the building when it's ready. For modern or for traditional shingle making, you would use a froe, a long cutting edge that helps you direct the split in the whole diameter of the wood. I don't know of any evidence of froes from the Viking Age, so I decided to use an axe I have not had the chance of showing you guys yet. It's an axe that was especially forged for me to be a little more aggressive and heavy, with a little more iron on the back, so you could also use it as a hammer for blacksmithing. I never got around to do that, but the axe is quite heavy, have a lovely profile that is quite wide in the bevel, which makes it excellent for splitting wood. So you got to see me using this splitting the oak, and of course it's a little difficult when the edge of the axe is only covering a tiny bit of the whole diameter of the wood to control the split. But I think I managed more or less okay, and it was great to get to use this axe, even though it was mostly as a splitting tool, using the mallet on top of it. And the mallet we made in the last video was not quite heavy duty enough to split this oak, and the oak has dried out a little bit more than I wanted it to. So I needed to get a heavier mallet from my modern workshop to help me out. But I think it went okay in the end. The oak shingles are going to be layered 2 by 2 in alternating directions, and stored somewhere dry to season for, I would say, at least half a year. They need to be very dry, and then of course they might set a little bit, they might get a bit crooked, and then I will touch them up very gently with the draw knives and pre-drill a tiny hole in each, and they will be ready to clad whatever surface of this house that they will end up cladding by attaching them with a tiny iron nail. In the last episode you saw me making tenons or lap joints with using only a chisel, and I'm definitely going to be able to speed up the process if I have a saw. And there's a very, very limited amount of finds of saws from the Viking Age. And in fact, replicas of boats and the documentation of building replicas of Viking boats and the study of all the parts of remaining boats from the Viking Age shows zero, absolutely no trace of saw marks, meaning that the axe was a very versatile tool. But there is evidence of various saws from the Viking Age, and they will make my life a lot easier when I have to cut all the tenons for all the posts. That is the next step in this house. I've been struggling to find a good solution for a saw. It turns out that to make a saw is very difficult with the materials and the iron and the steel. And you must excuse me here, I'm not very good at understanding the qualities of different steels and irons. And I know many people use a modern saw a saw blade that is shaped to look like the one of the finds from the Viking Age, and then attach a wooden handle. And I wanted something different, so I've been working on trying to make a replica of one of these saws out of a piece of sheet iron, and filing out the teeth. And I am not completely done with that, but the second I am done with that saw and I have that saw up and running nicely, I'm ready for the next step. And I'm really, really looking forward to start seeing something come up a little bit. I think it's going to be a lot more visual when things start to appear coming up, and that will give us a better understanding of the outline of this small Viking house. And one more thing about the shingles. The quality of the shingles will always be directly depending on the growth of the wood you're using. And I was lucky enough to buy some firewood a while back, and in this pile of firewood there was already cut trunks of oak. And I picked out the most straight ones, but you never know until you open up the trunk how is the fibers going. And I don't have the most perfectly grown oak here. So there is some gnarly bits and parts where the fibers go off to one side, or there is a branch in the middle. And sometimes you open up a piece of wood and it's useless for what you intended it to. I'm sure there's plenty of other ways to use the wood, but ideally you would seek out very tall and straight grown oak with no side branches. It's starting to rain, and they have forecasted a heavy thunderstorm this evening, so I might have to wrap this up soon and get going. In the ideal world, you cut away the sapwood, the light wood closest to the bark. That is a new growth, and it doesn't contain the same weather-resistant properties as the inner wood. I have to be very pragmatic about the materials I have, and I have decided to keep some of the sapwood, because with the oak I have, if I have to cut away the sapwood, it leaves me with very, very thin shingles and not a lot of shingles. I know the lighter part, the sapwood, is going to be the first to rot. My thinking is that using the shingles in the triangle up under the roof, with the roof hanging over it, with at least, I would say, 20-30 centimeters, it is going to shelter it a lot, and I hope that it's going to be okay. A lot of the things that is going to happen on this build project is going to be experimental, and time will be the judge, I suppose. But I know there's going to be very experienced woodworkers watching this, thinking, "Hey, that is wrong. What you're doing there, you have to cut that away." And I know that. I just can't afford it. I don't have enough material. Once again, thank you so much for being part of this journey. I really appreciate that you guys want to watch these videos and follow along in this build project. I feel eager to make progress on the house and to continue making videos about the house project. But on the other hand, I also have no stress about when this is going to be done. And I want to have fun working on this house, and I really want to experiment with things. I want to understand things. And now, for example, this project about having a saw, a replica of a saw from the Viking Age, is holding up a part of the project, and that is okay, because I am learning a lot as we go along, and I will be able to share this knowledge, not just keep it for myself, but also to share it with you guys. And I think that is the way this project is going to make sense for me, because I do find it very interesting to learn about the tools and the techniques, and to figure out small solutions to problems that appear on the way. And I like that there's no deadline. So thanks again for watching, everybody, and don't forget to click the little like button. Subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. Feel free to leave a comment and ask me a question about something you saw here in the video. It means a lot for me, and it means a lot for the algorithm. And if you guys are interacting with the video, it is going to tell YouTube that the video is interesting, and then YouTube will offer or present this video to many more potential new viewers. So the best help you guys can do is to like the video, to click the like button, subscribe if you're not subscribed yet, share this video in your own networks, in your own social media, with your friends and people who might find this interesting, and feel free to write me questions. I really enjoy having this interaction with you guys, and I really enjoy reading the comments and getting all these interesting questions, and I am happy to answer to the best of my ability. So thanks again for watching, and see you soon.